Right there.
Hello there. Welcome back to Where's the Whills from Brick City Blockade. I am here tonight with my co-host Robin Vogt,
Oh.
and technically his second time on Words of the Wills, but really his first time on
The
Sean
first one
Michaud.
doesn't count.
No,
Hey
it
guys,
doesn't.
what's up?
We
The first one
we
doesn't count. We messed
just like
up. You
just like Attack
you
of the
guys do
Clones.
not know how to watch that.
Just like Attack of the Clones, we don't speak of that episode.
What episode? I don't recall doing an episode.
I don't remember. But anyway, how is your guys' night?
It was fine just a few minutes ago. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's awesome.
No,
Well, at the
it's
time
been
of
great.
at the time of recording this, we are officially 2 weeks away from the Rise of Skywalker opening night. The big thing for that is Sean and Robin are coming down to my neck of the woods for opening night, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This main episode is going to mainly be about Rise of Skywalker, but for first-time comers, Sean, give a little background of your Star Wars history, like what got you into it, what made you fall in love with the Star Wars universe and stuff like that.
Well, as a kid, I always loved, everyone loved superheroes, sci-fi stuff. I was a huge sci-fi stuff. I think the first movie I watched for the sci-fi was New Hope on a little mini screen DVD. You know, back in the day, back in like early 2000s, the DVD player. And I watched A New Hope down in my grandmother's basement for the first time, and I loved it, and I wanted to keep watching more. And that's how I started with Star Wars, and not until when the Force Awakens, for the Phantom Menace, the Phantom Menace, completely different movies. When the Phantom Menace came out, well, I was not in theaters. I mean, I did not go in theaters. I was 6, 7, 5.
Yeah.
I don't know how old I was.
99. So
99.
Yeah, so
5.
4 or 5.
I was old enough, but it was the Attack of the
I was
Clones I
old
went
enough.
to. Showing your age, Andrew, huh?
I'm a year older than you guys, so
I don't know. But yeah, and I think when I really fell in love with Star Wars was the Revenge of the Sith, when I went to the theaters at the Ioka in Exeter. And that's when I fell in love. That was the first time I actually fell in love with it, and got me into Star Wars. I wanted to read some of the books, the comics, the old comics, Dark Horse comics, and all that. And then fast forward to 2000. When did we start the podcast? 2013.
2016. Right? Yeah, it was just in January, February. Yeah.
We started a podcast, and now we're here. We're doing great. Loving Star Wars, and that's my story, I guess.
awesome. It's more fun to love Star Wars than to hate it. Just saying.
I hate Star Wars. I hate Star Wars stuff.
But you love talking about it.
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, similar to yours, my introduction to Star Wars was A New Hope, but I had the better luxury of seeing it in theaters in 97 with the re-release. So I have that on top of you guys, as I saw A New Hope in theaters. So
that's fine. Take it. Have it. That's fine with me, Andrew.
I have seen at least 4 of the original series in theaters. So I've seen New Hope, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith in theaters. The only 2 I'm missing is Empire and Jedi. That's why when they did the 3D re-release, I was like, yes, I can finally see those two in theaters. And it's like, fuck, they're not finishing it.
Oh,
And
Hopefully in the future, though.
I
Yeah.
really wanted to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters again because,
Yes.
like, the build-up to that, I remember it clearly. Like, the marketing for it, everything, the trailers, everything for it was essentially like this: the end of Star Wars. And it, for 10 years, it was the end of Star Wars. Yeah, there was video games and the Clone Wars, but if The Force Awakens never happened, if the Disney buyout never happened, Star Wars would have phased out. It wouldn't have come back.
And I think the series now, like Mandalorian, would not be as popular if it didn't.
No, it wouldn't have worked on regular TV. The Mandalorian is easily made for a streaming service. It wouldn't have worked on, like, what even network would have had it on?
It would have had to have been probably a Disney property. So you're talking about Freeform. You're talking about ABC. I would have said Freeform of any of them. But even
before,
then,
like the Disney buyout, like where would it have gone? Like HBO,
Sci-Fi.
Yeah. Even then,
I mean, Sci-Fi has some decent shows.
Would it have been an HBO? Because of, like, you look at the Game of Thrones style, would it have fit in an HBO format?
No. I mean,
It's
if you want to see
not dark
banging chicks and stuff, no. But
it's not violent enough. It's not dark enough.
Then somebody like Netflix would have picked it up. I would have thought, when you look at it, if it wasn't a Disney property, then one of the streaming services probably would have grabbed it just as a property piece.
I feel like Hulu would have before.
Probably
Netflix.
Something like Hulu.
Because Hulu has more Disney stuff than Netflix does. Before the whole deal with Netflix and Nickelodeon and all that.
They're just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be bittersweet with the end of the Skywalker story. I'll take a gauge. Do you guys think you will cry at the end of the film itself? Or will
I'm going to cry at the beginning.
At least a tear.
Shut up. I'm going to cry right at the beginning. Doesn't even matter. I won't make it to the end. Oh, my goodness.
Right after the Lucasfilm logo comes up.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be 100% honest with listeners out there and people who are watching. I think that there are going to be so many different emotional moments throughout this thing that by the time you get to the end, I think that last moment in that film, it is going to be something so impactful. Did you see what Richard E. Grant, his reaction on social media?
Yeah,
he was on the brink of getting super emotional about this film.
And he's one of those actors that doesn't really, like...
He's passionate, but he never gets emotional about it.
Yeah.
Never gets emotional. So for him, during that social media piece, to be like almost out of breath and like so emotional about it. If that's Richard E. Grant, and I'm going to be honest with you, doesn't have a large role in this film. He has a part in it, but compared to like the Oscar Isaacs, the Carrie Fishers that are going to be in this, if he's in that much smaller of a role, and he had that much of an impact in terms of his emotions and what he felt coming out of that after their screening that they had, I'm telling you, I could just tell he was like, fans, you better prepare yourself because you're going to get emotional. So I have a feeling that last moment in The Rise of Skywalker is going to be something, just that entire, you're going to hear moaning, you're going to hear people like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's going to be something spectacular. Guarantee you.
It'll definitely feel like an ending.
So well.
Just like Revenge of the Sith, it felt like an ending, but it also felt like it could continue because it had to.
This
It was
has to.
kind of the same with Return of the Jedi. Like, it felt like it could still continue.
It
Like,
feels like this can't continue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting with how it ends.
Yeah.
One of the other things I wanted to talk about was a specific TV spot that came out.
Oh yes.
Was it last week or a couple weeks ago?
I want to say it was the
I think
beginning.
it was last week.
Yeah.
Last week. Specifically, it's called Duel. Easily the best TV spot they've had.
Yes.
The thing I noticed, and a lot of people noticed, is a specific theme they used in the beginning of it. The other thing I noticed is the music wasn't the same sound as the regular trailers or TV spots.
No.
I think it's from the soundtrack itself.
Do you think Duel of the Fates is actually in there?
I think Duel of the Fates is showing up, and you can put that on the list.
There it goes. There it goes. Andrew already.
Duel of the Fates.
It's like Duel of Fates, but also Anakin versus Obi-Wan theme a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's got a mix to him.
Mm-hmm. And it makes sense for Duel of the Fates to show up because chronologically with episode 1, with Darth Sidious and the Sith reemerging, Duel of the Fates was that major theme.
Yes.
So with Palpatine returning and the Sith troopers, the Sith Order essentially returning or trying to return, Duel of the Fates makes sense to come back at least.
It really does.
But the cut where it goes into the Imperial March, I don't think it's specifically in the track with Duel of the Fates. I think there's going to be something else to do with Vader's music. But if that is from the soundtrack, I've had my issues with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi soundtracks. Like, they don't sound as powerful as the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy's soundtracks.
Okay. There's not many songs that jump out to you.
Exactly. And I think...
Except Rey's theme.
Rey's theme is the only one that jumps out.
Rey's theme and a little bit of the Resistance theme.
Yes, the dun 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 dun. Yeah, that. Yeah.
But if those two themes are from the soundtrack, it sounds already so much better.
Yeah.
To me, compared to The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. But what about you guys?
What do you think, Sean? I'm curious.
I mean, I think it's more than just. I think John Williams has gone through every film and mixed at least one or two songs from each soundtrack to put in this final soundtrack. I feel it's gonna be like a double LP soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
It could be, because that's how the original trilogies, when they put the soundtracks out, it was like double disc. So they could do that with Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
even stuff that they take out of that they don't put in the film that they have on the soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm siding with Sean 100%. I think that he's pulling from all the different themes and he's updating them for this. He's adding a modern twist to it. He's got the London Symphonic Orchestra with him as usual.
Oh, they are?
I believe it's the London Symphonic Orchestra that they're going to be with him.
Because the other orchestra they use for Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, they sounded a little. No offense, I like how they do their stuff, but they sounded weaker.
I think he used Los Angeles.
Was it Los Angeles? I thought it was Boston.
I think Last Jedi was Boston. It was the Boston Symphony Orchestra. Okay. I want to say L.A. was used
because they had to re-record the Star Wars theme, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that was the whole thing. So if what it seems to be, if they're going to pull back, because Duel of the Fates was done by the London Symphony Orchestra Choir.
All of the soundtracks, prequels and original trilogy, were done by the London Symphony Orchestra.
So it only makes sense. It really does for him to go back to it.
And if this is his last film he's composing, because he said he's retiring after this.
Yeah, this is it.
He's nailing it out of the park with this.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
He had 2 years to work on it, 2+ years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he finished it earlier compared to The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. So that says a lot.
Yeah, it means that there's a lot of archived items that, and you know what?
He was probably working on it since The Force Awakens.
Is there a theme that's going to appear in this thing that he has never released? It was a concept theme that he was going to use in one of the original trilogy films.
Maybe something for the Emperor.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the Emperor's theme is a classic theme that's, in my opinion, a little bit more haunting than Vader's theme.
Yeah.
I can see him giving Palpatine a new theme with also combining his original theme to it.
Maybe he had a different version theme.
Maybe like a lower version of it where it's more like scarier or something like that.
I mean, he probably like re-recorded or something. I don't know.
Oh, I would love them to mix themes. I would love them to, if Rey shows up in front of Palpatine, that they find those similar tones between Rey's theme and Palpatine's, and it just merges. Oh my goodness, that would
I wonder what Rey's theme for her when she goes.
Oh, her dark Rey theme. Ooh,
it'll be the reverse. Like
I like it. Yes,
it'll be like
the devil's music.
The parade in Episode
Backwards.
1. That is.
Yeah,
a
backwards
upbeated version of the Emperor's theme, so they could do something like that with Dark Rey.
I love it. Love that.
Her themes is backwards to the whole thing. Just like
John Williams is a genius. He can figure something out.
He can do that.
He can do it.
Now, what did you guys think of the TV spot itself? Because it's easily my favorite one out of it. Out of all the TV spots we've gotten. Besides the international trailer, which we'll talk about a little bit with a specific thing at the end.
Right. Wow. I mean, I liked it that we got a little bit more Rey Kylo in the dual one. And I think the one shot that really caught me was we clearly kind of have an idea that every shot we get now in these teasers that we're moving closer and closer to understanding that Rey is looking at Vader's mask.
Yes.
In that scene. And then the hallway that they're in, the new angle that we got between Kylo and Rey. I can't remember if that's from the international trailer or if that's from the dual.
I think it might be from the international.
Okay, because we'll get into that.
Either way.
Yes. We got some new looks, some new angles in this. But there's that common theme. We keep going back to that space battle. With Poe and the rest of the rebellion, the new formed rebellion, and there's something that really is going to tie in, much like in Return of the Jedi, where we had the space battle and then we had what's going on the ground.
Exactly,
it's literally what that's looking like.
It's going to be. This is everything we have. We're going to attack them full on, like Return of the Jedi, and fuck it, let's kill them.
It really is like. If you look at it very closely, and I like what JJ's doing with it, because if you were to clip Return of the Jedi a certain way and to show the space battle, then show what's going on Endor, and then show what's going on between Luke and Vader and Palpatine, and clip it a certain way, you could almost align it perfectly to how they've been marketing.
But now people are going to say it's a carbon copy of Return of the Jedi.
But I'm going to be honest with you. To get that older generation in the theaters and to make those connections to that original trilogy, you have to do that. From a marketing standpoint, you have to do that. That's how you make billions of dollars.
I mean, Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, so I don't care.
It's one of my favorites, too. It's number 2 on my list.
I think the space battle is going to be... It's going to be similar to like Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings, the Helm's Deep battle. Yeah. But it's going to be like that type of battle kind of, but for space.
Yeah.
It's going to be with Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi. Those two movies easily have the best space dogfights in any of the Star Wars movies. This, I think, is going to top it.
Yeah.
And there's a specific shot in the TV spot duel where We see a fighter get shot in post-screen. No. Who do
Yeah.
you guys think it is? Do you think it's Snap,
Andrews knows mine, but I want to hear
or do
Sean's
you
too.
think it's Lando and the Falcon going down?
I
What do
mean,
you think?
personally, I would love to see uh, the Falcon going down, but it's being chased by Kylo Ren.
Oh, so it's Kylo shooting it down.
Or it could be or Kylo Ren stole the Falcon and he's in it. I don't know why he would steal it, but
Maybe it's a last minute thing and he flies it. I don't know. That would be cool to see Kylo flying the Falcon. But yeah,
and just playing tricks, and Poe doesn't know who's on there, so he just
True.
say no, and it's actually Kylo going down, and maybe it's Rey who's chasing him.
I don't think Kylo would go
Probably
down
not.
in a ship, but
I mean,
because I mean
what do you think?
his grandfather didn't, his dad didn't, so
No,
Kylo's
because he
not
said
going
spinning
down
was
in
a
a
good
ship.
trick, so
Exactly.
the spinning is a good trick, man.
Kylo used that in Last Jedi, and it was a pretty good trick.
Oh my goodness.
So, who
Um,
do you think it possibly is
uh,
going down, Robin?
I think I've talked to you about it, but I think that if you want to make the connections to the canon, I talked to Scott Inch about this actually the other day. If you want to make connections to the canon and you really want to have it hit Poe really hard, is either Snap Wexley, because Snap has been an intricate part of the Poe Dameron comic book series and has really been the reconnaissance mission leader for Leia. Poe is the resistance leader for Black Squadron, but Snap is the reconnaissance leader, and we saw that in Force Awakens specifically because when he came back, they said Snap's reconnaissance mission showed that this is the outline of Starkiller Base. This is what we're dealing with here, and I think it's either that or I don't know what the status is of some of the other members, but another person who was very close to Poe in the Poe Dameron comic book series was Jess Pava. And I'm not necessarily sure what her fate is, but she knew Poe's mom and dad. She was very much almost raised by Poe's family early on. She knew everything about them having force trees in their possession that were given to them by Luke in particular during the Shattered Empire series. So Jess Pava has a pretty I don't want to say like her and Poe are a thing, but I feel like on a professional level, if she was to go down with a Y wing, which is what it kind of looks like in the way that they have it clipped, it could be deception, but the way that it's clipped, it's either Snap or Jess. It's got to be somebody very close in with Black Squadron at that point.
I can see that too, especially because I'm reading Resistance Reborn. Snap
Yes.
is a part of that book, so
Yeah. Have they mentioned Jess Pava at all in that?
I can't remember. I'm sure she probably came up at and stuff because
Right.
Poe is the main character
Yes.
in so far of where I've been reading um, in the book.
Hmm.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
But before we get into the full like question stuff,
Yes.
recently it came out that it's kind of confirmed and kind of not that Lando is quote unquote gender fluid.
Hmm.
Me personally, it doesn't bother me. I
Right.
kind of saw that with Lando anyway, with how he dressed and everything like that.
Of course.
Um, but what is your guys' take on the inclusion of like the LGBTQ like people in the new Star Wars movies? Because I'll give my opinions after your guys.
I mean, I feel like there is some LGBTQ in the movies, but not. I feel like there's not enough representation. I think. I mean, I would love to see more I mean, in the future, of course, with what's her name, Dr. Afra.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's great to see Lando as gender fluid now. We kind of saw that in the beginning, and then when Donald Glover took his role, he nailed that. So I would
Exactly.
love to see.
Like
Yeah.
I
the
would
way
love to
he
see
dressed,
Billy.
like
Yeah.
I would love to see Billy take on more of that on Lando's role. I don't know. I just I don't know.
what about you, Robin?
A few words just to describe this. It's about damn well fucking time in the Star Wars universe that we have this because I think that it's always been kind of teased at in different ways.
Mhm.
I think the inclusion of the LGBTQ community is very important in terms of the modern standards, knowing that people with LGBTQ who identify as so, their rights have been challenged in this time. And I'm talking from a political perspective, just in terms of our society alone. Those individuals who I do feel like there are freedoms present and they have the rights to say things and they have more support than they ever have had in society
Easily.
today. But there is an oppression of it that I think that Hollywood has now kind of almost sided with politics on, and it concerns me. It concerns me in different areas, and I'm glad that it's finally happening. And the funny thing is, too, guys, it's so funny that it took Billy D to say it, but I want to go back and I'm going to double check this facts. I'm going to double check these facts on this because I swear to God that I feel that Donald Glover came out during the filming of Solo. Either it was in GQ or it was in Entertainment Weekly or something, and had mentioned that Lando fulfills the gender fluid role in Solo: A Star Wars Story. His character,
Yes.
I
Or
believe it
he
was
was
already said
bi-curious or
Uh,
something like that.
yes,
I think it was fluid somehow.
yeah. So for people
Or
to
I
come
think it was asexual.
asexual is
Yeah.
probably the term. So for people to come out and just say like this is breaking news, it was already out there. I think it's nice that now they've kind of thrown that into Billy D's ear, and now the original actor that played Lando Calrissian is the one who has recognized this and is now continuing to push this forward. But again, it's about damn well time that they do this representation piece in Star Wars because it's a changing time, it's a changing climate, and there's no better time. And I'll say this for people who feel that they identify as so, to come out and be honest. And Star Wars and these other forms of entertainment need to understand that these, I'm going to say it, these, showing this to kids and showing this to individuals who feel that they are being oppressed in their thoughts and
Mhm.
giving them the freedom to say, you know what, I identify this, and Star Wars has showed me it. Other people in life has showed me that it's okay, that
Mhm.
I can
Mm.
feel the way that I want to feel, and I can love who I want to love, and I can be who I want to be. It's about damn well fucking time that the media and everybody starts hopping on board with that.
I agree 100%.
Yep.
Being bisexual myself,
Hmm.
it definitely makes me feel more included somewhat in the Star Wars universe. Because, like, yeah, there was sprinkles of it with Giovanni in Knights of the Old Republic being
Right.
the first lesbian character or gay character in
Oh
a
yeah.
Star Wars game. There's hints to one of the characters in Fallen Order that she is possibly bisexual or lesbian. There's more representation now compared to maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
Uh, it makes me feel more included,
That's good.
and I do connect with a lot more characters in it. Like, yeah, I felt like I connected with Luke Skywalker anyway, but
Hmm.
I feel like I connect a lot better with any of the characters, if you know what I
Yes.
mean.
Yes.
Mm.
So it's about time, and I just wish people would kind of just accept it, but people are just people and they don't like change. And
That's the
unfortunately,
problem.
Yeah. I
unfortunately,
mean,
can't stop that, unfortunately.
the old Star Wars fan don't like the new some new Star Wars fan, that's changed. So
Mhm.
What
you
is the
gotta
meme?
deal. You gotta
Get
deal
over
with it.
Boomer.
What?
Get over it, Boomer.
Yes.
The new thing
Okay,
that's
Boomer.
okay, Boomer. Oh my goodness.
But
It's-
besides that, let's get into the fun part of
yes,
Where's the Wills tonight. So
it's time
Robin,
for Get Predictions Wrong. No, I'm kidding.
yes,
I'm
Robin
super
is
excited.
going to be hosting this part.
Nice.
It's mainly
Uh,
going to be spending the day with these guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm pretty sure the theater is going to be sold out by the time it's opening night because I checked today and it's getting more and more full.
Oh,
Like
nice.
where you saw where like the seats were up front,
Yeah.
they're getting more and more full.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
it's easily going to be sold out.
Oh, I love it.
get ready for some trivia before the movie.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want to watch Maria Menounos tell me about her free fucking podcast.
I love it. Hi, Marina Munez.
Fuck you, Maria Menounos. I don't care about your free podcast.
Hey, you can say the same about us every time we put it out there.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck about your Brick City Blockade. I don't want to hear anything about it.
Okay, Boomer.
Okay, boomer.
Uh,
All right, so let's get into this, folks. I'm super excited about this. We got 12 total questions that are going to be answered across this, and Sean, Andrew, and myself are going to bet points. And it's going to be awesome because on the opening night, like Andrew just described, we're going to have points associated with different things throughout the film. We're going to tally up the scores across the film. I'll have to keep a score in my head, or I'll have to keep like a little pad down next to me when I'm watching the movie or something. And I'm just going to be counting up points in terms of things that happened in the movie, which things didn't happen. And we're going to
if we
come
can
up.
even think of it while we're watching the movie
I know
anyway.
that's just it. That's just it.
Yeah.
So we're do our best to get through it. And it basically, somebody's going to get something at the end, folks. And I'm super excited. I'm working on currently what that item will be. I'm pretty excited about the possibilities. But it's about time we get into this. It's our prediction segment for points. Basically, like Sean had said during the production time to put this together, like around the horn, like maybe people out there who watch ESPN closely and follow sports.
But a
It's
little bit more slow paced.
yeah,
than
we're
that.
not gonna fire off like this because we want to hear what everybody has to say. So I'm gonna start with a silly one to start, and then I'll move into a serious one, and we'll kind of bounce back and forth on this. So let's start with this one, and I'm gonna start off with Andrew on this question. All right. So
Okay.
question number one: will Rey make her lightsaber in the Rise of Skywalker?
You
Or
almost forgot the title of the movie.
no, I was actually looking at the next question.
Uh,
Get preparing myself. Will Rey make her saber in the movie, or will she buy one off of Amazon Prime?
Amazon, I don't think exists in the Star Wars universe.
Very unfortunate. Just
As
not like
much as I would like to see her make one, I can see her receiving one from someone.
receiving a saber. Is that a sexual term, or are you just saying it?
I'm just saying it.
Okay, all right. Because receiving a saber could mean multiple things.
I know.
So, how many points do you want to wage on that? On receiving a saber?
What's the highest we can go?
5 per
5.
question.
Oh, 1 through 5. Okay.
1 through 5.
5.
5 points on that one. Okay. Sweet. Sean, what are you thinking?
Like Andrew said, I don't think that they have Amazon Prime. I wish they had Amazon delivery. She gets it delivered to her.
DoorDash. I want to DoorDash a saber
In
over.
the middle of
A
fighting
DoorDash
Palpatine, she's like, hold on.
Rub
And
up.
I would love to see her actual make one, kind of like what they do in when you make a burger, like those screens, you make a burger, you just like you're clicking. I want blue.
Well, that would
This
just be
help
that would
and
be Ultra
this
Saber.
one.
That was the Ultra Saber. All right, so you want her to make a saber is what you're asking. Sean.
Yes.
So how many points would you like to put on that?
I will put on 3.
3 points. Nice. I'm also on Sean.
Can we do half a points or no? Are we just
don't
doing
be
that?
that.
No?
Don't
No
be that.
half points.
Oh my goodness.
All right. I don't want to make it too difficult.
I'm saying also make a saber. I'm gonna put 4 points on that. We're gonna keep it interesting. We're gonna have a point separation to start this thing off. Now I'm gonna start with Sean on this one. Who will sacrifice themselves in the Rise of Skywalker? Who will sacrifice themselves in the Rise of Skywalker?
There's gonna be at least 2 or 3 people that are gonna sacrifice, or people. I mean, one is I think we all know C-3PO is gonna sacrifice himself.
Mm-hmm.
We can't already have that basically confirmed. We don't know if it's actually gonna happen, but it looks like he's sacrificing himself.
Okay.
And I feel like Finn is gonna sacrifice again for the second time.
Well, they teased it.
Either two.
Stop it, Andrew. Cock blocking a death is totally different.
But she cock blocked him.
How is that possible when it's a death?
I mean, his sacrifice wouldn't have done anything anyway. So
Grim Reaper blocked you.
Pretty much.
That's a major cock block. I mean, that high-powered weapon could have really blown through.
I mean, it was going to blow through anyway, because... well, no, legit. If Finn,
was
smashed into it, it wouldn't have done anything to the laser anyway, so his sacrifice would have been for nothing.
Come on. So, Sean, you have C-3PO and Finn?
Yes.
Okay, how many points do you want to wage on that?
4.
4 points on that. There we go. All right, Andrew, what are you thinking?
So we're doing 2 people that are going to sacrifice themselves, or
2 to 3 if you'd like.
I just said 2. You
said 2 to 3.
Right. Leia.
Okay.
Lando.
Okay.
I don't want it to happen, but I can see it happening. Kylo.
Wow. That's some pretty bold stuff. How many points you want to put on that? Because technically it would be per person if you go with a...
Leia, 5. Lando, 3.
Oh, per person?
Yeah, so I'll come back to you, Sean, in just a second.
Okay.
So Leia, 5.
Lando 3. Kylo, 4.
I was pretty confident for Kylo. Sean, what about you had C-3PO for how much?
I'll do C-3PO for 5.
Okay.
And Finn for 3.
That way it's right in the middle.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going very similar to you guys. I think that Leia is an obvious one in my mind. I don't see her coming out of this one. I'm going to put 2
she's going to live.
That's why I'm putting 2 on her, because I'm confident that she's not in my mind, but there's always that chance because it's J.J. Abrams. So Leia for 2, C-3PO for 5. I'm very confident that C-3PO is out of this one. And unfortunately, our good friend Mr. R2-D2 at the very end.
You think he's going to die too?
I'm going to put 2 points on that one, just to be safe.
C-3PO and R2 going to heaven together.
That's literally the last part.
Do droids go to heaven though?
We don't accept your kind here.
Exactly. They arrive at the gate and it's
Is it all droids go to heaven?
Oh, I want that.
They go to hell.
Especially gonk droids. They're slowly walking down to the steps of hell. Yeah. Gonk. Gonk.
All droids go to the compactor.
Ooh.
Especially battle droids. They all go to hell.
They're fucking jerks. Okay, silly question for you guys. Ready? So, Here we go. Ready, Sean? This one's coming to you.
Oh, okay.
Will Kylo Ren, kick Great Grampy Palpy in the shins? Will he do it?
Technically no, but yes. He will
How can you bet on a
verbally
no and a yes?
he what?
How can you bet on a no and a yes?
Well, technically he's actually not gonna kick him, but he's gonna verbally kick him. Verbally kick his
Verbally.
shins.
How do you? Oh, well, Andrew does
So
that to me all the time. So okay.
Hey, I promise
Hey,
when you're down here, when we have our lightsaber fight, I won't go for your legs. Unless it's a specific choreographed fight that we reenact and
there
we
it
have
is.
to go down.
Oh, we have to go down.
Yes.
We gotta get dirty
Not
and
in
down
that
on
way.
that. Oh my goodness.
Sorry,
So
Sean.
is your answer no or yes? What's going on here? And how many points are you
Who
putting?
are we asking now?
I'm on Sean.
So
I
yes,
gotta know.
yes. Technically, yes, he's going to, but verbally.
So verbally,
So he's gonna show, I'm gonna kick you in the shins, palp.
Yes. And his knees are gonna weaken and gonna be like noodles.
I gotta stop. How many
No,
points are you putting on this
It's gonna be
motherfucking
like
thing?
a rag doll, so his legs are gonna go everywhere.
How many points are you putting on this motherfucking thing? Come on.
2,
2 points, okay.
3, 2, 3, 3.
Okay, 3 is the total. Okay. Awesome. Andrew, how do you follow that up? How do you follow that up?
Yes, he will kick him in the shins,
Wonderful.
and I'm giving 1 point.
Yes, for 1 point.
I swear to God, if it actually happens, I'm gonna be so mad.
You didn't risk any more points. I'm gonna say no. But I'm gonna put the smart answer of 5 points on no.
No.
So what happens if his knees just weaken and crumble? Does that
He
count?
did have
Because
to use a cane.
His knees, it's his shins, Sean. There's a difference between the shin bone and the knee bone.
True.
True. I mean, they're not far apart though, so.
The neck bone's connected to the. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, Emperor Palpatine is in there. My leg bones are connected to my shin bones. And Ray's just standing there. That's the thing, like in the trailer. Like, what the hell?
And that's then it cuts to this shot of Kylo Ren swinging his lightsaber at Palpatine.
Hold on. I'm gonna change to 5 points. No, just kidding. Leave it at 3.
Oh, this is going off the rails so quick.
Wouldn't be words of the Whills
Where's
otherwise.
the Wills went off the rails? All right, this
You
is
ask
this
crazy
is
questions, we receive crazy questions.
Exactly.
that is the truth.
Or answers.
Amen to that. Let's go number. Okay, I'm curious about this one. Serious question now. I'm going to start with you, Andrew, on this one.
Okay.
Will Dave Filoni get credit on the film credits list at the end of the film on the film crawl list?
I think so.
Okay.
I said it on Mando Monday. I'm saying it here. I think Dave Filoni has more pull with a lot of Star Wars stuff than we're being led on.
Yeah.
I think they did bring him on as a consultant for some possible Force stuff
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. I think Dave Filoni deserves credit
Mm-hmm.
if he had a role in it, and I think he did. And it would be cool to see him finally to have his name on the big screen besides the Clone Wars.
I like that. So how many points are you willing to put on that? Because that's a pretty good answer to follow that up.
I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna do 4.
4. That's a good number for that. Sean, what do you think?
I also think he's gonna be in the end credits.
Yes.
Because I actually proposed this question myself, so that's
Makes sense.
why I'm saying it. But I would love to see him in the credits because, like Andrew said, he deserves it. I mean, he's been part of the Star Wars universe fandom.
Yeah.
Going on 10
Behind
years.
the scenes, pulling strings.
11 years, actually.
11.
11 years, yeah. And I think he's not. I don't think he's gonna be like credit as a writer, but more of a
Producer.
like a production assistant or special effects
Production
assistant.
assistant. Okay.
And I'm gonna wager 3 points for that.
Okay. That's good. I like where this is going. I also say yes as well. I think Dave, like Andrew says, he's just so involved with all these projects and with his work on the Mandalorian and then jump starting Resistance. I know he's not always the head of the movements on Resistance now, but it
he
was his
oversees
concept.
everything.
He oversees all that. I think that his name's going to be right next to Pablo's in the credit list. I think that him and Pablo are very close in terms of storyline, making sure that the canon lines up, stuff that Pablo's worked on and the essential guides and working with authors. More in the newer stuff, not the older stuff, like early on Force Awakens and then the lead up to Last Jedi. I feel like the authors now have a clear idea of where their books fit into canon. So he's going to be next to Pablo in the credits. I'm also going to do Andrews of 4 on that one because I think it just lines up nice and
it really does.
It makes sense in that case. Moving into a silly question now, Sean. Which smokes more weed? C-3PO in our film in December, or the ATST in The Mandalorian? Which one smokes more of the ganja kush?
I think I'm going to say C-3PO, and the reason why is I feel like he's been high this entire time. Since the beginning.
Wow.
Since the beginning, he's been high.
So since Anakin built him, he's been high.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I could see it. But it depends. How big is the blunt that he's smoking, though?
To last that long? Couple pounds?
Couple pounds of weed in a joint.
He just takes the bag and just eats the weed instead of
I mean, technically, droids can't smoke, but they don't have mouths, but...
Well, technically, they do have a mouth, that little slit.
Technically, yes. What are we going on?
Sean, how many points? How many points? Just I'm gonna let the fans decide this one. This is gonna be one I'm gonna put up on Twitter. I'm just gonna have the fans decide because this is just great. Who wins this one?
The ATST smokes more weed.
2.
2 points. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because that will be one of the fan ones after we go to see it, and I put it up there. It'll be like a determining factor question. So Andrew, you're saying ATST? Why is that?
Well, did you see how red his eyes were?
Yes, I did.
They were just all red, whereas 3PO, they were somewhat red, but they still had the pupil in the middle. ATST was just all red, no pupil.
Master Dameron, I'm surprised you didn't notice me with the red eyes. So how many points on the ATST? I mean, it's kind of obvious, but
5.
You're just playing catch up. I'm also saying the ATST because I've been there, done that. And just to be honest, and
but you're not going to be on that for Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, no. Movie theaters are a completely different experience. I cannot do that. It's not healthy, and as somebody who likes to really dig deep into film, it's just not. I encourage that. Anybody who thinks it's okay to go to a movie theater in that kind of state of mind, unless it's like Arrival or something like really like out there and trippy, Star Wars is
maybe Ready Player One when it came out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm not encouraging that.
Oh God.
Listening to us.
No, the Us movie. Going to see that high.
I would freak out. I have not seen that yet.
Whoa.
It's creepy,
Oh,
but it definitely fucks with your mind.
oh my goodness! I didn't even think about that.
Or
Oh
Get
my
Out.
goodness gracious, that was a funny question. All right, moving on. Sean, ready?
See.
You
Yes.
see, senor. Um,
I
how many
see.
how many Force ghosts will show up, and which one? Which ones?
That's a tough one.
It is.
Um, I would love to see, uh, like over like 20 different Force ghosts, like over plus 20 Force ghosts, but it's just all the past Force, all the past Jedi's in a room, just like maybe Rey just doing a training and she sees all the Jedi around her or something like that. I mean,
That'd be interesting.
How many points are you willing to wage on that?
Your eyes are just squinting. You're like,
It's like 20
plus 20 because
plus
I don't know
20.
how many
Okay,
Jedi's. 4.
4 points. Okay. Andrew, what are you thinking?
I will say 6 at the most.
6. Okay.
Qui-Gon,
Qui-Gon,
Obi-Wan,
Obi,
Anakin,
Anakin,
Mace,
Mace Windu.
yep, Luke, and if she dies, Leia.
Not the first person I've heard say that, so that's pretty cool. 6 points. How many points on that?
5.
5 points. Interesting.
We're
Interesting.
all gonna lose this round.
We are.
Um.
Well, we're
All right.
obviously going to see Luke because we hear him in the trailer. So
Yeah, that makes
Right.
sense. I'm saying probably. I'm gonna say 3.
oh wait, I'm going to up it to 7 because Yoda has to show up too.
Yeah. See, I'm against you on that one.
No?
I don't think we see Yoda. I think we had our moment with him in Last Jedi. I think
Okay,
we
then
hear Yoda's voice.
I'll take away 1 then.
Just because I said that.
Yes.
All right, we're back to 6 with this dude. All right. So we're gonna see 3 Jedi, and I think we're going to see Luke, Obi-Wan, and we're gonna see Anakin. And I'm gonna put 5 points on that. However, I'd be willing to do an additional risk point on this one on my end.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do a risk point of 1 point deducted if it doesn't happen. And it is going to be that all 3 of them dance to Jedi Rocks at some point in the film.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, if you want me to walk out of the theater, sure.
That's
But
why
Well, if it's
the deduction of the 1 point doesn't mean so much when you bet 5.
but what if it does happen? You
And
win.
then you're gonna have Obi-Wan that's literally just gonna be that one part. He's gonna like karaoke style it. He's like yeah.
why is he doing that motion? What's Obi-Wan been doing since
Things
he's
get
been?
lonely on Tatooine.
Okay,
I mean,
I'm
he
actually
could
gonna
just go to
change
the.
mine.
Okay, Sean, what is your change? You only get 1 mulligan.
Yes, because I don't think mine's gonna happen. I was doing it as a joke, kind of. I wish that would happen, but I'm
I
gonna
wish.
say, I'm gonna say, 3. Okay.
How do you go from 20 to 3? Okay.
Okay.
Three Force Ghosts. Okay. Who are they?
Luke,
Luke.
Leia,
Okay.
and Padme.
Padme doesn't have the Force,
Oh, but
Leia doesn't either.
but she does.
excuse me.
She's a Skywalker.
Apologize.
So is Padme.
But we saw Leia use the Force in Last Jedi.
Which is Padme? Is she a Force sensitive child?
No.
Hmm?
I love the Scott answer. It's a Scott Inch answer. You know what, Sean? I'm gonna write it down still because you
I
never
mean,
know.
it'd be cool, but
Do you still want to do 4 points on it?
No. I'm going first. Wait,
no.
I love you, Sean.
Cool to
You are
see
just.
her
That
as
is
a
awesome.
Force. It'd be cool to see her as a Force Ghost, but
Yeah.
the way they kind of work, it really work.
Dude,
you probably would need Anakin with Padme.
I mean, I guess, but why didn't Padme show up at the end of Return of the Jedi?
now the only thing, and this is
Because Natalie Portman wasn't alive. I mean,
Hayden Christensen wasn't alive, but he was added into Return of the Jedi.
goodness gracious me,
folks.
folks.
True. Okay.
It's not even December 19th yet.
You're gonna be getting a lot of this on the
I know.
19th.
I'm looking forward to it.
People are just gonna walk by us looking at us weird.
The only exception I feel would be like if Rey enters Mortis with Force Ghost Anakin, and they look back through Mortis at
Then I'll accept that.
because that's technically going into a Force realm, and it's technically looking back.
Then I will accept that.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, I see. Okay, all right. Sweet.
I could see.
Stretching it.
It would be a cool idea, but it would. She needs the Force, and Leia has the Force. We saw her use it.
Speaking of our friend Anakin, Andrew, I'm starting off with you.
Yep.
Will the Force Ghost of Anakin, if he does so appear, complain about the coarseness of sand?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think?
Sand is his worst enemy next to Dooku.
Sand is just as bad as headless Dooku. Okay. How many points on that one?
5. No,
All
one.
points is so weird.
You said it. You said 5.
I took it back. I'm saying 1.
Yeah,
He got to retract his numbers, so I get to. I'm the host.
That was just
I think you're gonna
one
say
mulligan.
retract something else. Sean, what do you think? Is he going to complain about sand?
No, he's going to be complaining that he doesn't not have the high ground.
Oh no, high ground will be big point. High ground will slap him in face. Okay.
But he does have the high ground because he built a castle on Mustafar on
You know
top
what?
of the high ground.
You know what? And maybe Kylo mentions that. You know, maybe Kylo just kind of looks down at the lava and is like, I have the high ground now.
With the mask on or with it off?
With it off.
Okay.
How many points
But
on
his
that?
helmet, one, his helmet is actually falling down. What the hell? So
I love Sean's answer. He completely skips over it. He's just like, 1. But let me tell you. That is beautifully said.
That's why the 19th is going to be such a fun day.
Can't wait.
I'm going to pull a move I never thought I would. I'm going to do an automatic deduction of 2 points from my total at the end because this question is just kind of crazy. So it'll just be 2 points deducted because I chose not to answer that question. All right, Sean, moving on to a serious question here. What are Leia's last words in The Rise of Skywalker? And this is emotional, folks. What are her last words? This is big point stuff because this is quoted stuff. If she says even one of the words that you even say, what are her?
I love you, my son, to Kylo, or
Ooh, okay. I love you, my son.
And then Kylo says, I know.
I know.
I know. And then he stabs himself.
Oh,
How many?
not Game of Thrones style.
Oh no, no,
Mm.
no, no, no. Sean, how many points?
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we
No,
do
we
not.
don't.
We have a lot of Game of Thrones fans who listen. I love you, my son.
Including me. 5.
5? Wow, wow, you're confident, Andrew. What are you thinking?
Well, this is set in Jedi Fallen Order. I think Leia will say something similar to it, but pretty much I think she'll say trust in the Force.
Trust. That's a good one.
I'll do 5.
Nice. See, I love these confident. I'm also 5 points on mine.
But as Luke once said, overconfidence is our weakness.
Anyway, unless Mark Hamill says it to my face, which then at that point I just fanboy freak out.
And then Mark Hamill's like, peace, I'm out.
Peace out. 5 points on mine. I think Leia's last words are going to be to Rey. In particular, I don't think she gets that last moment with Kylo. In The Rise of Skywalker, and I think she's going to ask Rey a question. I don't think it's her last words are going to be a question to Rey.
Do you spit or swallow?
Oh. Do you want to join?
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. You set that up. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm not editing that. That's perfect. She is going to say to Rey the same words that you're just such a fuck sometimes. It's your show. You can say it.
It's true.
He could do it too, you know.
What?
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 I said you could do it too.
Spit or swallow?
Yes.
He's talking about brushing teeth. Brushing teeth, Andrew.
Oh.
Brushing teeth. That's what it was all.
I took it too
Is
far.
that what spitting and swallowing means?
Let's move on. I haven't even said my line yet, and I'm about to shut this thing off.
Sorry.
Because this is amazing.
You're sure you still want to come down on the 19th?
I am.
Right?
I am more convinced now than ever. You Renee in the background. You better.
Don't worry.
Her line to Rey. Her last line
She's
is
cracking your knuckles to make sure you come down.
I know where you live.
that. Wow, that's on a podcast, folks. I
She'll
know.
go all redneck on you.
Oh, I know. I can only imagine in this case. So
Your words. Your
can I
words
get to
right.
my fucking line?
Sure.
So Leia's gonna look at Rey and she's gonna say, "Bring him home."
Okay.
Same line that she said to Han.
Oh,
Bring
but
him home.
with saying that, we know what happened to Han. He got
Right?
stabbed.
Right?
The cat agrees.
So does that mean Kylo's getting stabbed?
But this
Well,
time,
it means Rey's getting
but this
stabbed.
time, but this time, because it's Rey and everything that we've been seeing, is she going to bring him home? Leia's going to be gone, but is she going to bring him home in terms of being within the Force, being not necessarily dark, not necessarily light, but being balanced himself?
I can see that.
Yes, and I'm putting 4 points on that. That her line is going to be "Bring him home." That's for what we saw from the trailer when they're hugging. She's going to say that same line.
I can see that.
All right. So
if we get one word right, do we get a point or?
yeah, so what I'll do is I love you, my son. So like if she says I love you, I'm gonna give you 2 points. You know, if she says my son and she's talking to Kylo in that moment, I'll give you a point for it. How's that? Because the I love you part has always been associated with Han. Always. So if she says it outside of that context in some sort of way, then I think I gotta give you the full points for that. Because it's always been in the context of Han.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
even outside of that, like maybe she goes to his grave. Oh, imagine if she went to Han's gravestone.
But does he have a gravestone?
I feel like that's some of the emotions that we may see. It may be something quick. I don't know.
Or Kylo goes to his grave?
What if he says I love you? Oh my goodness.
Or he's just asking for forgiveness?
Show me the way, Father.
Here,
Then
here,
then
here,
Han's hand pops out. Yeah, get out of here, fuck.
here lies Han's
Well,
hopes
that
and
is a
dreams.
rumor that I did hear that.
Here lies Han's hopes and dreams. What a baby.
That is a rumor I did hear, that a vision of Han Solo is supposedly in the movie. Supposedly.
Wow.
And it's only a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but
All right, so
if it's true, it's a pretty well kept secret if that first
100%.
word showed up.
Yeah.
So Andrew, you already said this one earlier in the show, but I will ask the question once again. What past themes do you think are going to appear in
Well, I
the
said Duel of the Fates is one. Battle of the Heroes.
Okay.
It's a theme that doesn't really come up as much, but I can see Jedi Fury, a version of it. Specifically, the end theme with Luke and Vader's final fight in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Um,
How many total do you think here? Are we
how many
talking?
total? Well,
Because I can't write them all down in this amount of space.
well, the genius that is John Williams said he's using all the past themes in the previous films, so
Or do we want to set it as
I will go the easy route and say 5.
5? Okay. 5 songs.
Mainly the battle themes.
How many points you putting on that?
5.
5 points. So like a point apiece,
Yeah.
basically. So every time we hear one of those themes show up, you're like, ha! There's a point right
I'll
there.
be like, yeah.
Yeah. Sean, what do you think? How many how many past themes? Like a number. We'll stick to a number.
3. I think it's
3.
three past themes.
If you want to tell the people which the 3 those are. I won't write them down because I have your number now, but
Duel of Fates, Anakin versus Obi-Wan,
ooh.
and the Imperial March.
That's a solid 3 right there. How many points you want to put on that?
4.
4 points. I like your approach on that. I like your approach.
Here's a question for you guys. With the Imperial March, who will it play on? Will it play on Palpatine, or will it be Kylo Ren?
Is bonus points to this question, or is it just a brand new question?
Just in general, a question.
In general,
Who will it show up on? Will it be Palpatine, or who?
Vader's mask.
ooh.
Just in the scene when they look at Vader's mask.
And then we hear Vader's voice.
You ready? You ready for this? We're going to have Rey's theme as she's looking at it, Kylo's theme merging into the Imperial theme, and then Vader's breathing, and then a voice come out of it.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Because in that moment, you'd just be like, sensory overload. It'd just be like, whoa.
There's
Hold
going to
on
be
a
a
sec.
lot of callbacks to a lot of stuff.
Oh, so much. Either that or it's going to do the, and then Misa back.
Did you see he's getting his own Star Wars game show?
I know. Jedi Challenges.
Talk show.
That's the game show that's going to be on Disney Plus for Star Wars.
That's going to be really cool.
I cannot wait.
Now, are they going to do that live at Disney, or is it?
I mean, if Disney Plus wants to start getting into live stuff, I mean, that's a whole other realm.
Because they could easily do that at like Galaxy's Edge or something like that.
I feel like they're going to do different challenges at different things. Like they could do it at Galaxy's Edge. Then there's going to be one at Star Wars Celebration next year where they have to go do certain things across the celebration floor, go ask certain questions to certain people, like Pablo, and Pablo's going to be like, get out of here, you kids.
Yeah.
um, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm on the docket of 4 themes.
Okay.
I think Duel of the Fates. I think the
Okay.
Imperial March. I think it's going to be iconic. I think the Obi-Wan theme as well. Obi-Wan versus Anakin as well.
Okay. I was about
I'm
to
on the
say
same.
what Obi-Wan's thing.
I didn't. I know I
So
didn't finish that right away. So
Obi-Wan
Duel.
gives his own new theme, just brand new, just for the film. But he's
Well,
not in
you
it.
know, in his streaming series, there definitely will be.
Oh, he'll
Oh,
get his
probably.
own theme there.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if when John was in the studio with the London Symphonic Orchestra, if he didn't come up with Obi-Wan's theme while he had the chance there,
Yeah.
for
I mean, he
the
Okay.
came
streaming
up with
show.
the theme for Galaxy's Edge, so
So you might as well get that done. And then the 4th theme, I think we're going to hear, and I think a lot of people, because a lot of people say Palpatine's theme in particular, but I think we're going to hear Snoke's theme, again, because I think that there's going to be some kind
didn't
of
he have a theme?
he did that. Ooh, it's very similar to the play
Yeah, I know what theme. Yeah.
when Anakin and Palpatine were sitting and they were watching
So
the
can we just say that's the Palpatine
what do
play
we want
theme?
to say? What was that? The opera theme from
Okay.
yeah the
Yeah.
Coruscant opera theme. Coruscant opera theme. Yeah, because I think John had pulled from that from Revenge of the Sith to create
Okay.
Snoke's theme. Because everybody was like, "Oh, it seems so similar." Well, there was a reason that it was so similar. I'll put 5 points on those. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Andrew, leading off with you on this one in particular. Um, will we see a ceremony of some kind in The Rise of Skywalker? And if you can give a specific type of ceremony, I will give you 2 times the points in which you wager.
Um,
Just a yes, no, and then whatever on top.
I think yes.
Okay.
It'll be a bittersweet ceremony.
Okay.
I mean, you can't really say a funeral is a ceremony, but I can see something along the lines of honoring someone or something like that.
And honoring. Okay.
Yes.
How many points you were willing to put on that?
I'll do 3.
Points. That's a good amount. That makes sense. Sean, what do you think?
I'm gonna say yes as well. I'm gonna say there will probably be at least 2 ceremony things. Either
Ooh.
a funeral and I don't know, like not like a party at all, but more of a
Are you talking like at the end of Return of the Jedi when the Ewoks and everybody were celebrating? Like that kind of thing?
yeah
Like a
yeah.
gathering almost? A lot of stuff happened that night. Remember that. A lot of stuff
It
happened.
does.
Han and Leia,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they decide to get Boogie on and create themselves a future Sith Lord, maybe.
But he's not a Sith Lord.
I said the possibility of a future Sith Lord.
But you still said Sith Lord.
But you still said it. Anyway, Dark Lord is probably a more appropriate term. Who happens to believe.
But he doesn't. He said, kill the Sith.
Yes.
Forget the old teachings.
But he finally came to that reality after the destruction of Snoke.
But does he have an apprentice?
That's another question for another time.
Is it though?
No.
Sean, how many
We're
points do
2
you want to
weeks
wager on
away.
this thing? How many? Sean, how many points do you want to wager on this thing?
I didn't wager any points.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't. 12?
No, I said 3 as well. Yes, 12 points. 12 points, even though the limit is 5.
I'm going to say 1 ceremony.
What will the ceremony be?
The very end. Very end.
What do you think it'll be, though?
Ewoks.
I'm trying to ask you a serious question. What you actually think the ceremony will be?
I really do. I
do?
actually really do think that the Ewoks are going to be in it.
I mean, they're going to be in it, but I don't think it'll be a ceremony like.
I think it's going to be like
Jedi.
Endor. I 100% think it's going to be like Endor. There's going to be Ewoks. There's going to be resistance
What if
pilots.
it's Kashyyyk?
Then there'll be.
It's not going to be Endor. It's going to be a Jakku.
I could possibly see that.
Okay, so I'm just saying ceremony at the end of the film. Possibility of Ewoks.
Possibility of Ewoks.
Is that when the Force goes coming again?
Time. Come on. I just that's all I need to see is a little Ewok cooking something going ding 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 ding. That's all I need to see.
Are they eating porgs?
Oh my goodness. Sean, you are a terrible human being.
Yes.
They finally cooked Chewie's porg friend. All right. 2 more questions, folks. 2 more questions. Sean, I'll start off with you on this one. How many references? He's got his hydro flask.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Sorry, need to be hydrated. Sorry, go on.
I do my nails. Okay. How many references? Oh my goodness. Really good as hell. How many references from the Clone Wars, Rebels, or Star Wars Resistance do we get? How many in
How many?
the Rise
From Rebels, Clone Wars, and what?
in Star Wars Resistance? How many
No Freemaker adventures?
Oh my goodness. I cannot tell you the last time somebody has ever said to me, Andrew, of all Star Wars, not even books, somebody who's looked me dead straight in the camera and has said, what the fucking Freemaker adventures?
Isn't that canon?
No.
Well,
I haven't seen it, so I don't
It's
know.
not
it's
canon.
good. It's a good watch, but it's not canon.
I've watched the other Lego ones that are actually pretty funny.
The droid one?
Yeah.
That one's good. We don't accept your kind here. All right, Sean, what's your...
There's another one where Luke and Vader fight on an asteroid.
Yes, I remember that one. Oh my goodness, Sean, what do you think?
I'm gonna say 7 references.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Wow. Andrew, Jesus.
Lucky number 7.
I swear to God, if Sean gets all 7, I am screaming out in the theater, Dark! I swear if he gets every single 7 of them. So, 7 references.
I will too. If
How
he gets all 7.
How much are you waging, Sean?
5. I'm going big on this one.
Holy cow, 7 references. You know, I don't think you're far. I don't think you're far
from
off.
Clone Wars, 3 from Clone Wars, 3 from Rebels, and 1 from Resistance.
Wow. Okay, so you got the stuff to back it up.
And that's where the Dave Filoni stuff could come in.
Yeah. So yeah, Andrew, what do you think?
I'm gonna price this right. I'm gonna say 6, so I can.
6, okay.
And I will copy Sean and say 5.
Well, okay, so 5 points on that one. All right,
But I don't think they're really going to reference Resistance. I think they'll mainly do Clone Wars and Rebels.
Gotcha. Andrew, Sean, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be that guy on Price is Right. $1, Bob. $1.
It's true now.
Sorry, I still like Bob Barker. I still like Bob. Drew's okay. I like Drew Carey. I used to watch the Drew Carey show. It's okay.
Yeah, the Drew Carey show was decent back in the day.
1 reference, and I think it's Mortis. And I'm going to put 5 points on the inclusion of Mortis.
Okay.
In that one. And finally, this is the one I think I'm super excited to see. Because this is the make it or break it one because of how the points work out in this case. What is going to be the first word in the crawl for the film? What do you think? And I'm going to start with Andrew on this one.
Okay.
What do you think the first word is going to be? Now, we're going to break it down even further. What is the first word? What is the first spoken word? And then times for the points by who? You don't get deducted for the bonuses. You don't get deducted. Those are just compensatory points.
Mhm.
So, first word for the crawl.
Yep.
I could see it being. I mean, it'd be morbid, but death.
Death. Wow, I like it though. Coming
And
off of last
then,
night.
yeah,
How many points on that?
I'll do 3 to play
3.
it safe.
Okay. And then for the spoken word?
Spoken word is going to be finally, and it's going to be by Palpatine. I think Palpatine is going to be the first person we see.
Wow. Now this is for 2 times, so that's for 3 times whatever death is.
Yeah.
So 2 times, so that's 6 points on that. No deduction of points if you don't get it.
Mhm.
And then 3 times, so the next one, which is by who? So Palpatine is 12 points.
Yeah.
Wow, that could really earn you some. You could win just off of that. That's awesome. Sean, what do you think the first word in the crawl?
I think it's going to be words. Like words of the will, but it's going to say like words are like something along like words are not spoken or something like that. Like
Words
something
have not
very
been spoken
poetic.
between the First Order and the Resistance ever since, or words have not been spoken between certain members of the Yeah, okay.
Words have not been spoken by Raylo.
Words have not been spoken of the death of Luke Skywalker.
That could be something too.
Okay, so Sean, how many points on that?
Um,
Because remember, you have to. This is going to be multiplied, whatever this amount is.
I'm gonna go a little 4.
You're gonna go 4. Okay. And then, what's the first spoken word in the film? As soon as we end the crawl and somebody speaks, what is that first word that they're gonna
Help,
say? Ooh.
and it's gonna be by Ray.
Wow.
Like kind of like help me. I was going to say, kind of like I was going to go. I'm gonna say Grievous. Darth Sidious. Grievous.
Now, Sean, I just want to let you know, if you hit this right, this is crazy. This is crazy. So for words, and then help is 8 points, and then if it's spoken by Ray, in particular, you have earned yourself a total of 16 points for that. It's pretty good. That's make it or break it stuff. First word for me on the crawl is going to be Luke. Just like in well, isn't it Luke Skywalker disappeared?
Luke Skywalker has vanished.
He's vanished. So I think we're going to lead off with Luke. I'm going to put 2 points on that. All right. I think the first spoken word, and this is going to be hello.
There.
Hi there.
Hello there. So that will be for a total of 4 points. And then by who? Kylo.
Is he one to really be like hello though?
I think you're gonna go for Lando there.
Now I'm going to extend my so that's 16. So Sean and I are in the same category on that. Sorry, no, 2 times. No, I can't do math.
And you're a teacher.
You're
you know,
8.
You know what? I'm 8 points on that. I'm going to extend it even further. I think we're going to open up with Kylo having a nightmare, much like Anakin did in Revenge of the Sith, and he's going to say hello, and it's going to be Luke's presence in the room, and we're gonna open up because he says, in particular, "I will always be with you."
Yeah, that's true.
So
That
it's
would
going to
be
be
that would be pretty cool.
just to open with that, and he's
Mhm.
waking up, and it's like he senses something in the room. And then we kick off. Like something happens, like Luke shows up and he's like, hello. And maybe Luke says hello, and then it suddenly cuts out to wherever Rey is.
That would be interesting.
So
But yeah.
I think we all have solid answers there. I think
we really do. So I just want to do a quick calculation because this is where the fun is. So if
This is where
Andrew
the fun begins.
if Andrew is correct on every single one he makes here.
Which
All
I
right.
probably won't.
every
2 and then 35, 36, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 54, 55, 56, 57.
watch till all the points add up and all the same.
Andrew, your winning number is 69.
Yeah.
Is it really?
His winning number is 69.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. That is exactly how this should go. Sean,
I'm
no,
waiting
just-
for my 69.
We'll see. 3, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And then 58, Sean.
Hmm.
58. Now, again, this is if you hit all of your points. If somebody misses and doesn't get it and you get it, it's like golf. You go par, you score a birdie and somebody gets double bogey. You're ahead. And then that can change as you go. And then 4, 9, and then I did the automatic deduction of 2 points. I don't know why the hell I did that. So that's 20. 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6, 7. I only have 50 for mine. 50 even. So, Andrew, this is crazy to say at the end of this, has actually taken the biggest risk with the ones that he has proposed. And then it's funny because the paper lines up perfectly. Andrew, Sean, Robin. Andrew with the most, Sean with the middle, and me with the less amount of points risked.
So
I'm always
Sean
the
is
middle guy.
the meat in the sandwich.
Yeah, Sean's the meat in the sandwich.
Yes, I'm the ice cream in the ice cream sandwich.
And then you just melt.
That's what,
So we'll be posting.
Sure.
We'll be posting the which smokes more weed question up on Twitter for you guys to decide when we
Yeah.
get to the end of the film and we calculate all of our points. Those will be the make it break it points, and we're gonna leave that up to you on
Yeah.
Patreon and on Twitter. So Andrew, we've put in our predictions. Let's
Mhm.
throw it back to you. And
Well, some closing things before we fully wrap up.
yes.
From the 11th to the 19th, we are pretty much going to start a review podcast thing of Star Wars Episode 1 through Episode 9. Episode 9 will be a podcast later.
Oh yeah, by
We'll
itself.
do a live stream recap on Facebook
Yep.
after seeing Rise of Skywalker. But from the 11th to the 19th, that way it lines up with marathoning all the Skywalker saga films. We're just doing 1 through 9. We're not doing the spin-offs or anything like that.
No, none of those.
And each day after we watch it, we're going to review said movie
Yes.
on here. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And it'll be interesting getting your guys' perspective on the prequels now, as
Yeah.
some more stuff has come out with prequel stuff, like Master and Apprentice, Clone Wars, everything.
It's gonna be good to go back and watch them all.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm really looking for it. I mean, I watched A New Hope actually probably about 2 weeks
That
ago.
was that was
And
on like TNT that like a couple of weeks ago. Or a month ago. I think
yeah, I
I
was gonna say a
watched.
month ago, probably before Disney Plus was launched. They probably had one more showing on there. But I mean, just I will say, and I'm excited to go back and even watch it again. The things that Disney Plus have done with the Star Wars
Mhm.
films, the Lucasfilm introduction, still having the Fox fanfare in front of some of the, like especially with A New Hope, still having that in front of it. It's very nostalgic, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy what we have to say. It'll be nice to dig
Yeah.
deep. Sean and I, when we first started the podcast, we dug deep into them early on, and it's going to be nice to get back to it because we haven't done that side of things in a long time.
Yeah, we have.
3 years. 3 years since we've looked back.
I mean, technically,
And-
we're more doing the Force Awakens than the other one. We
Yeah.
didn't go as deep as the prequels as much.
So
as
Andrew's
the
opened
original.
up the floodgates.
Mhm. And I haven't really talked like full in depth about any of the Star Wars movies in a podcast
Right.
style or anything like that, like deep diving into like the prequels, the originals, everything like that in a while. So it's going to be fun.
Can we just do a Mystery Science Theater version of Star Wars
Maybe
without?
Oh my goodness.
we'll see how it goes with the first
We'll see
review
how it
episode.
goes.
And they definitely did clean up all the Star Wars movies on
Yeah.
Disney Plus. They look flawless.
Look fantastic.
And the big thing for me is they fixed the lightsabers in the original trilogy. You can complain all you want about them, George Lucas, like messing with the originals. He fixed the lightsabers to where they look a lot better.
I like the look of the lightsabers.
Mhm.
Big time.
And it's perfect because the only one I'll really need to put in my Blu-ray player is The Last Jedi, but everything else you can just watch. We can just watch on Disney Plus, so it'll
Exactly.
be perfect. And
Yeah.
I do like that they kept the 20th Century Fox fanfare for
Yes.
the prequels and the originals, and I like that it goes into the Disney.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm, show.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys think The Last Jedi will be on Disney Plus before?
it
Like,
will be on
just drop-
Disney Plus on Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay,
That makes. Yeah.
Because they still have a contract with Netflix to have Last Jedi on there. Same thing with Solo. It's going to be
Right.
on Disney Plus June 2020 or something like that.
Yes. So you could technically just watch it on Netflix. So
Yeah.
Till then.
Essentially.
But also, when Robin and Sean are down here, there's going to be kind of a vlog of the day for my
Yeah.
YouTube channel and whatnot. And we did talk behind the scenes, and I gave Robin the idea of kind of doing a little bit more with Brick City's YouTube channel and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Right on here. Yep.
So,
Mhm.
Robin, if you want to give like ideas of what you might do for your channel and for the channel in general. And
Yeah.
whatnot.
I think. Yeah, no, I think when we were Brick City Blockade Podcast Network, and I'm going to be honest with you, Sean and I had this conversation too, and we reformed into the podcast itself, is that we really didn't spend enough time really focusing on the possibilities of YouTube. We were so focused on the podcast stream, and we've cranked out almost 350 episodes out on that podcast stream, and I think it's time that we give some of the content over to YouTube. We've donated a lot of our time and a lot of different conversations that the fans wanted to hear, 350 of them to be almost exact, to the podcast stream itself. And we've almost in that way neglected anybody who had been listening or following us over on YouTube. And 53 subscribers in terms of being only a podcast feed was pretty impressive, I thought. Knowing that
It
we didn't
still
meet
is pretty
personally.
impressive.
So
Yeah.
you really want to work on, and that's why I'm focusing on, not necessarily because people like to listen to our stuff on iTunes and over on Spotify and on that form. But YouTube is just as accessible for audio and for video, and we really want to start focusing on what's working right now at the podcast. And we really a group decision here. Of course, Scott Inch in putting his input into this as well, is that YouTube is something that we are going to explore, especially heading into 2020 more and more. So the week that we are down with Andrew for the our introduction to the Rise of Skywalker, that opening night, and all the festivities during the day, we will be almost vlogging our day through YouTube, literally through live streams, and having you guys be involved. You know, like when you see the Star Wars show and they're doing all those live events and they have people commenting and doing things. These will be quick, short things. We're checking out the merch. We'll be doing some more product reviews. I think that would be really cool when the new Black Series come out. We always do the one to rock, one to stock idea. Most of us. So it's like that idea of taking one out of the box, showing you guys what it looks like, and really just expanding what YouTube capabilities are for this podcast. And Andrew has done such a fantastic job with Commander Nerd and all of his Blu-ray reviews and Blu-ray hunts. And he was the one who really spearheaded the idea that, you know what, through his experiences on YouTube and the things that he has been able to accomplish alone, he feels that Brick City Blockade itself could benefit from that. And I think Sean and I, in particular, have always wanted to explore the YouTube option. I don't know, Sean, but in particular, I feel like we've talked about it for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean we have, and especially when we were doing live TV, kind of, we were exploring that a lot.
Oh, the studio session stuff,
I've
yeah.
heard a couple of those studio sessions on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good option to have.
But yeah, I definitely think you guys could.
YouTube is just, I was going to say, YouTube is such a great place to explore stuff in terms of content creators.
It'll definitely benefit Brick City in the long run, in my view. Because, like, podcasting, we can reach a large audience.
Yeah.
But I think we can reach an even bigger audience on YouTube as well. Maybe we'll have to cut back on some of the swearing or censor ourselves a little bit more on YouTube, but
we had that for a long time anyway. So
yeah,
I think we were lucky.
I do think
don't want to be demonetized.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just it.
But I do
don't
think
forget,
you guys...
2020 is with COPPA as well. If you guys don't know about COPPA.
Yeah.
The COPPA too.
And some episodes could be explicit or whatever, but if we do have some stuff that could be more kid friendly, we can do that. Like, say we review the Black Series figures or something like that. It could be geared more towards like that or whatever. But honestly, that's the COPPA stuff is really YouTube's fault because they were taking kids' information and stuff like that. But what does YouTube do? Makes the creators pay for it,
Of course.
Yeah.
It's just a good thing I don't get my income off of YouTube. So
yeah, I know. Seriously.
But last things before we fully wrap up. 2 weeks away. How excited are you guys to see the Rise of Skywalker opening night with pretty much a theater that's going to be completely full?
It's gonna be great. The only time I've ever experienced that full theater, I think Sean can probably attest to this, and it's not at the magnitude of this, but is going to the Ioka to see Revenge of the Sith on opening night, because we were both there and we kind of knew each other, but we really didn't. Sean was you were really newer to the area at that time, Sean. You had just moved to the area.
Couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that we knew, who would ever think that we were both in that theater for opening night of Revenge of the Sith, and later on we'd become such good friends and brothers in the Force in so many different ways, and do what we're doing today. And that was probably the closest thing to a full theater experience that I've had. But from what Andrew has said, this is going to be on such a different level, and I'm so excited for that.
I feel it's going to be 2 times what we experienced for the Force Awakens opening.
Oh
It's
yeah,
going to be a totally different atmosphere too. Not just excitement, but more of end of an era.
It
And
does feel
it's
that
celebration. And at the end, it feels it's going to be a great celebration of Star Wars fans to get coming together.
Like, where were you when you saw the end of the Skywalker saga?
Exactly.
Like, whoever's sitting next to me, or if I don't know, is like be talking about Star Wars that we haven't met before. But that's a cool thing about it. Like, before watching the show and before and after the movie.
Yeah, that's going to be the most fun. But unfortunately, we have come to that part of the podcast where we call plug time. So, Sean, where can the people find you across social media?
You guys could follow me on Twitter at SeanMichaud1. Follow my Instagram at ItZoneZ. Follow my music at Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
SoundCloud, and friend me and follow me on Facebook.
Robin?
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, sorry. Scared me. You guys can follow me over on Twitter at Mr. Vogt Tweets. Check me out over on Instagram at The Official Vote, www.brickcityblockade.com for everything happening at the podcast. And, of course, Starlight Children's Foundation, Patreon, and TeePublic. You know the stuff. It's holiday times. Go enjoy yourself.
And you guys can find me on Instagram at Andrew62592, Twitter Gerrish1, on YouTube at Commander Nerd. You can find my page for Words of the Whills on Facebook at just Words of the Whills. You can possibly friend request me. I may or may not accept your friend request, but you'll know when it happens. But it's been a fun Words of the Whills tonight. Rise of Skywalker 2 weeks away. And as we always say at Brick City Blockade, may the Force be with you.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Fuck out of here.
May the Force be with you.
Always. Goodbye.
Not always anymore.
Ugh.